How's it going, Scrub Gamers? Welcome back to another video here at ScrubGames, and today I'm bringing you another deck profile, more of a fun one with Goten AOD. So, just for anybody that hasn't played the game, hasn't played the game or is quite new to it, AOD standing for Agent of Destruction, a kind of like archetype that started off in set 6 with a few cards, then got a bolstering amount of support to make it actual proper deck when we got an anniversary box. I think the second one or third one, and then continue to get a few more bits of support over time. And for this one, I chose to go with the Goten leader because it's a leader that I've liked since we got the support of lineage, Goku's lineage stuff back in Evolution Booster, and with the release of set 20 and seeing some of the promos and seeing what the pre-release promo is with that Barbody, I started getting hyped a bit for what you can do with Yellow Leader and the AOD stuff. And since we don't have that card at the time, I started looking back at ones we could potentially use at the time now, and coming across the Goten lead, which is quite not too bad. I thought it had a quite good interaction with the Agent Instruction stuff to make a little benefit. I thought it'd be a good idea for people to try out if they do enjoy the character or things like this. But before we get into the video and go over the deck, feel free to like the video if you enjoyed this. This deck or my videos. Also leave a comment below if there's anything I don't answer that you have questions about or any suggestions. I'll be happy to hear to help kind of like bolster this deck a little bit more to make it a bit more competitive, even though it's more of a fun deck. And as well, don't forget to subscribe because that keeps you updated with my videos as and when they drop. And as well as that, we're almost to our goal. Well, we're coming up to we're over halfway to our goal of getting to 1,000 subs, which is my main goal. I'm hoping to get to this year. And if I do make that, I have something that's given in my giveaway from January of what I'll be doing if I get to my 1,000 goals. So if you want to find out what that is, go check it out and see if you can help me get there. So without further ado, let's get in the video and check out Goten AOD. So, Goten AOD. So with the lead, it's nothing massively special, but I thought it had quite a nice interaction with the AOD stuff, quite a good niche, and I thought it'd be something interesting to try out as well. Because normally when you think AOD, you just think of straight away the deck with the Barbody and Taboo leader, go with the full LOD. Because one thing you don't get that the normal AOD gets from this is two of the best cards that the deck has. First one is the Android 13 counterplay, one that such a good counterplay and one of the biggest reasons to play the deck and one of the best things about AOD, as well as some other decks in it. And then one of the new cards the AOD stuff got support for is the Agent Instruction Omega, which came out in the Dash packs, giving the deck now some barrier removal in the form of just one energy and a game-ending swing in a 30k triple striker. So those cards are not accessible to any deck outside the AOD with the leader, with the Boo leader, because it needs a card with AOD in its leader, so it can actually use them. So you can't use those with everyone to get the full effect. Well, you can get it to play, but if you want to get out cheap and more effectively, you have to have those that lead for it. But there still is the core AOD package that any deck can run. That gives like benefit because there is like the Black Broly lead. You can use the AOD stuff for that for quite interesting plays with like more focus on the Broly stuff. And you get some other ones that like pop up here and there, and I thought this was a nice one. So if you get into the leader, because people might have not realized what this leader does, or never seen it, or haven't seen it in a good while, so need a bit explaining. So on the front side, you have an auto activate main and your awaken. Your auto is when this card attacks a leader, you draw one. So you still gain advantage by swinging, but you force attack a leader. So if your opponent's got something on board you want to attack into, you're not really going to want to attack into with the leader. So you can attack into their lead to get the draw. So that's one kind of little downside of it, but you're still drawing cards, which some old decks, so like kind of different from at the time it was released, but you're still getting some advantage in the swing. And then the activate main, which is like kind of like the benefit of what I thought about with this deck to be able to play with the AOD stuff, is the cost of it is to choose one card from your life, add it to your hand, so you've got to take a life to use this effect. And then the effect of it is choose up to one yellow extra card from your deck, add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck if you do, and you can't use this skill for the duration of the game. So it's a once per game effect that allows you to take a life to add to your Self Awakening, to look for any yellow extra card from your deck to your hand. And the good thing with yellow is it has a lot of good yellow extra cards. So like there's a lot of good extra cards in yellow. One of the big things about yellow is that with the extra card focus, it allows you to make some of your good floodgates like Mecha Freezer cheaper by using them, and that's one good thing. And AOD actually has really one extra card in it to help the deck out, give it like some a bit of consistency, adding cards while also adding to this whole function. And that's searchable for this lead, which we'll see in a bit when we get through to the main deck. And so that's just one of its two once per game effects, and it's quite a good one. I thought was a little bit of benefit because if you put position on 5, you got a way to just go, okay, I'm going to put myself down the 4 to awaken and grab a key piece for the deck as well. And as well, you got your awaken, which is not the greatest awakening because at the time when Bandai released it alongside a load of like free average good leaders, and some of them had their awaken nerf because they were such strong effects at the time. But over time now, as we get to the modern age, it's not the greatest leader, and the awaken is even then lackluster as well. And with Goten's awaken, it's when your life's at 4 or less, choose a 20 energy, switch to active mode, and flip this card over. So unlike now we get leaders that untap 1, draw 1, this one literally just untaps an energy, doesn't draw, which is a shame. So it'd be nice if we get a little bit of reboot of this and the Krillin, because that's the same kind of awaken, to kind of bring it into the modern day, and reboot them to be useful, because people do like Krillin, but we've only had one lead, and same with Goten. Did get a second lead, but it's more like heavily focused on the bad archetype, being one of the worst sets we've got in terms of like actual decks. And it'd be nice to bring this up. And it does have a little benefit in it's got the Goku's lineage tag, so if you want to play any Goku's lineage packages in it and stuff like that, you can use that with this as well, even though it's not as strong as it used to be. And then when you flip over, you're now Staunch Strikers on Goten. You're now 15k. You have 2 autos now, so that's it, you just have 2 autos. First one is the same, is like an upgrade of the previous one on the front side, which is now when you attack, draw a card. So you can attack anything to draw a card. So much better, most leaders get this when they flip over. And you've got another auto, which is at the start of your opponent's main phase, you can discard 1 card from your hand, and then you gain 5k, well that's the cost, you got to discard 1 card from your hand at the start of your opponent's main phase, and then if you do, the effect is this card gains 5k power for the duration of the turn, and then you need a skill for the duration of the game. So as I said, it's the second once per game effect on this lead. It's got 2 once per game effects, one on either side, and this one allows you to kind of be a little bit easier, like more defensive, and help survive opponent's turn a little bit easier by just discarding any 1 card in your hand. It could be a dead card in your hand to give your leader a 5k boost for a turn. So if you go fully R on your opponent and you're not able to kill him, you could kind of make it easier, a little bit easier for yourself to defend the next turn. So you can try and clap back after that and survive after you survive their clap back. But that's literally what the leader does. It doesn't seem that amazing based on this, but it's mainly an activate main on the front side that kind of drew me to this deck idea. So with the leader done, let's have a look at the main deck, and we'll start off with the Agent Destruction core, so the Agent Destruction package. And when we start one of these, we always got to start with the first one being Babidi, the card that kind of makes it more cost effective in this for this little package, and that is Babidi Overseer Destruction. So it's got permanent barriers, it's got protection, and it's got 2 permanents. I don't want to read out exactly the permanents word for word, but essentially what it boils down to is the permanents give it unique. Before we had unique, so it could only have 1 on the board at a given time. And what else it does is reduce the actual cost and specified cost of all cards with Agent Destruction tag by 1. So all of them will cost 1 less and have the specified cost reduced by 1 as well, because most of them have a specified cost like the same as the cost of the card. And as well as that, we also have Hatchak, Vengeful Agent Destruction. So this is, we play 3 of the Babidi and we play 4 of this, because this is a card that essentially put Babidi on the board straight for your deck without having to actually hardcast it. And it does have a nice little benefit in the auto where when you play this card, you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards with entry cost of 4 or less, warp it, and then shuffle up to 3 of your opponent's battle cards from the drop to the deck. So it's kind of like a little bit of drop area, like a drop area manipulation. But then this kind of costs 2, so it depends if you want to pay 2 for that, but it can come in helpful in useful situations. But the main effect you're going to use it for is an activate main, where you just pay 1, discard this card from your hand to play basically the Babidi Overseer Destruction from your Evil Wizard card with entry cost of 1 from your deck or drop to the board, and then shuffle your deck if you look through it. And the main benefit of this is that it gives you pseudo copies of the Babidi. So you have the 3 copies. You have draw into a Babidi, then hardcast it, or you want to mainly go for hat check, so you can play it from your deck. That's why we have more hat checks than Babidis, because what you mainly want to see is hat check to kind of play it from your deck without having to charge a blue. But if you do get a Babidi, you can still charge a blue to play it out. So makes it more consistency, because getting it down turn 1 is the priority. And as well as that, the next card we have is Turtles, a little bit of consistency in your searcher. It has barriers, so it's got a benefit of having protection. It's a lot unique as well, so you can have one on board. It's a 2 cost, but remember with Babidi it's going to reduce under 1. And it's also when it attacks, look at top 5 cards of your deck, add up to 1 card with agent instruction in its card name to your hand and add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So a nice little search that you can go through, 15k swing, search for more AOD cards, just to filter your deck through so you can find some cards that are not searchable, kind of fit it so you can draw into the ones you want. And we do 4 copies of this because one of the benefits is it can be played off this Garlic Junior Immortal 8 Destruction as well as being normal hardcasted. So Garlic is one of the pieces that kind of drew me to the deck. There's like a few pieces of this deck, I think around 4 of them, that had the idea of bringing this deck together with this lead. And this is a really nice one because it's a counter attack, negate the attack player's card. And remember, for 1 with Babidi on board, you get a 1 cost negate that plays a 15k card on the board. But not only that, when it's played, the auto triggers, which when it's played, play up to 1 agent instruction card with an energy cost of 2 other than this card from your deck with its skills negated for the turn and shuffle your deck. So essentially, with this, for 1, you get to negate an attack, play this guy out as a 15k body, and then play another 2 cost agent instruction from your deck to have 2 guys on board after negating 1 attack. And you have to use this, and the auto doesn't trigger off the counter attack. It just have to be during your opponent's turn. It's just when this card is played, so you can play it defensively as a counter attack to get 2 guys on board, or offensively to get 2 guys on board for 1 energy. So we play 4 copies of this, and it's yellow to go with the main thing of if you need to charge it as a yellow, you have it there. And same with Turtles as a blue charge for if you need to hardcast Babidi on turn 1. And one of the other targets we got is Chinumba, and also we got Lord Slug as all the targets you can bring off the Garlic. So you got Turtles, Chinumba, and Lord Slug you can play off Garlic. And we play 1 copy of the Lord Slug because it's a super combo. So this one little benefit is while this super combo doesn't draw, it is nice to have a searchable super combo off a negate, because then you can negate an attack, play Garlic, then Garlic play out Lord Slug, and when it negates its skills, you still have the super combos of free 10k, so you can literally for 1 energy negate an attack and bring out 15k defensively combo power, ready to defend the rest of the turn any more swings. And if the Lord Slug does survive that turn and stay on board without being comboed, it then starts the next turn with its skills not negated and all in full effect. And it's also when your opponent activates its counterplay card skill, they choose 2 cards from hand and discard it. So it's a nice little benefit if you get this out defensively, Lord Slug, keep it there. It makes your opponent not less likely to counterplay because they don't want to lose 2 cards from their hand when they do. It's not what's opportunities each time, so if they do multiple counterplays, then you lose a lot of cards from their hand. And it's unique, but we only play 1 because we don't want to play too many super combos that don't draw, because we have the benefit of being not the AOD deck, being a yellow deck, so we want super combos that actually draw. So we're not worried about we want the draw power as well from super combos. And the other main one that I do like that kind of gave me an idea, the other main part is this Janemba Butcher Agent Destruction. So this is one of the other cards that we got in the Dash Pack that was support for AOD. And his benefit is numerous things, because he's got 2 permanents, an auto, and as well an activate main, and they're all quite good. So the first permanent is this card's skills can't be negated in any area. So remember, and with permanents, they're only active active in the battle area unless otherwise stated. So like Babidi specifies in hand. This first permanent on Chinemba specifies in any areas, and the second one, it doesn't. Basically, second permanent for Chinemba is this card can't be added to a player's hand. So it means if it doesn't specify an area, it means on board. So from board, the Chinemba can't be added back to your hand if it's on the board. And that's relevant because we get to its active mean in a sec. But first is auto is burst 1. When this card play from your hand, draw 1 card. So you can play this out for 1 if you want to with Babidi on board, and then you mill the top card of your deck and draw 1. Which is quite decent. It's not bad if you want to hardcast this from your hand. But most of the time you want to play this out from Garlic because of the activate main, which is limit 1. If you have 3 or more energy and you add 1 agent destruction from other than this card from your hand to your hand, and end of the turn switch this card to active mode. And that's a really nice benefit because one thing you can do offensively with this deck is, if you've got Barbary on board, play out Garlic for 1, use Garlic to play out Janimba. Janimba will come in with all its skills not negated because it's permanent, stopping it from its having its skills negated. And then you can swing with both, swing a Garlic for 15k, swing a Janimba for 15k, and as long as you've got 3 more energy, you then trigger the activate main of Janimba, bounce the Garlic back to your hand, and then at the end of the turn, you'll regain Janimba back to active mode. And the benefit of that is you get, for 1 energy, 2 15k swings, and then you can add back the Garlic to use as a negate on your opponent's turn, or play again if you want to, put more pressure on. And the Janimba allows you to have it restood to either combo off or be more likely to survive where it can't be attacked into next turn. So it's quite good, just have it as extra combo power. So for 1 energy, you get to put in 2 15k swings, get back in the gate for your opponent's turn, or play out another 1 energy, 2 15k swings at the very least. So you get 4 for 2 energy, which is quite good. And Janimba as well gets to restand to use his combo power for defensive for your opponent's turn, or survive for your next turn, a little bit easier to attack again. So very good utility. That's why we play 4 copies of this. So Garlic's got a good 9 targets to play out for the deck from itself, and 4 copies of this to actually find it. And then for the last AoD that allows you to have some recursion with the super combo, the AoD super combo is Broly for Split Destruction. It does have a nice beneficial auto if you want to play it, being when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards when she goes to 5 or less and KO it. Then look up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Add 1 card to your hand and send the rest of the remaining other cards to your drop. So with this also you get a nice little benefit of getting for 2, because it can produce the 2 costs with a Babidi on board. You get to remove something at 5 costs or less, and then add a card from among the top 3 to your hand. And where it says you can look up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, you can look up to either just 1, 2, or 3 of the cards. And remember, as you're adding any card among them to your hand, you don't have to show your opponent. You only have to show your opponent if the card in question needs to have a specific needs to be a specific kind of type of card, like type of card or trait or something like that. So you need to show it to your opponent to prove that it is within the conditions of the card. But if it's just search for any card like Broly, you just get to add it to your hand, not show your opponent, so you don't get to see what you're adding. And that's kind of beneficial because if you just want to look at 1, you just add that to your hand. If you look at 2, you add 1 and discard 1. Depends something you want to look through, what you kind of dig for. And while you might not use this all the time because 2 energy could be quite costly, the main thing you use it for the activate main, which is 1 energy, discard this card from your hand, add it to 1 card with age destruction in its card name from your drop to your hand. And the benefit of that is being able to add back this paying 1 energy to add back the Lord Slug so you can sacrifice a 5k in your hand and 1 energy to get back a super combo for more combo power if need be. That's the big benefit of that. So if you normally get the choices to use this combo power, depending on what you want to do. But it's got a nice little benefit of even getting back your Garlic or your Hat Shack if you need to reassemble Babidi. You can use Broly to grab Hat Shack to play out Babidi again. And that is all the AoD battle cards. Then we move into the rest of the deck, the more generic yellow stuff, before moving on to the extra cards. First one we have is Super Combo, Son Goku Return to Earth. This is just generic Super Combo when you last 4 or less. When you're using the combo, draw a card. Now we use this over Krillin because the one thing is, with Krillin it requires you to have a yellow leader and all your energy being yellow. But there might be some situations where you'll not be able to find Hatchak turn 1 to get out Babidi, but you might find Babidi and a blue card. And in that case, you're going to want to charge the blue card to play out Babidi. And if you do charge a blue card, it makes the super combo, the Krillin super combo, useless because you've got a card that isn't yellow charged, make it a dead super combo. So in this instance, we're just playing a normal super combo. We're going for Goku because he looks quite cool, and at the very least, he can be played as a 15k if you ever need to play him for whatever reason, and still draw the cards. You might not be filtering your deck, put back a card back your deck and draw 2, but you still have a super combo that's useful. And we got 2 of those because, as you guessed it, with yellow, one of the best secret rares for yellow is the Gohan and Piccolo secret rare, Newfound Might. Because the nice little thing about this is that while it's a secret rare, it does take up your super combo slot, which allows you to fit more stuff in your deck. So normally in most decks, you would have your 4 super combos and you'd have your secret rare, taking up 5 slots. But when Piccolo takes up both a super combo slot and secret rare slot, you're taking up 4 instead of 5 slots, giving you more space to keep it to 50 if you want to, and play a very good secret rare. Because the benefit of this is that while it's a 5 cost 30k combo card, the combo cost is reduced by 1 for every card your opponent has in rest mode. So if they have 5 cards in rest mode, you play it for free as a free 30k power. So either push, help defensively, out combo swing, or push aggressively a big game ending swing. And it does have the same permanent as most secret rares do have now, and what is really tied into Ultimate, where when this card leaves the board, it's removed from the game. And it's got two nice, really nice autos. And the first one is if your leader is yellow, a Gohan Adolescence or a Piccolo card. At the end of a battle, when this guy was used in the combo from your hand, play it from your drop. So you combo it, play it, and when you do play it or attack with it, you got the Ever Auto, which when this card is played or attacked, draw one card, then choose up to one of your opponent's unison cards or battle cards, which are the rest mode. So very nice use defensively. On defense, you get to try and out combo, play it, draw a card, and rest on your opponent's card to help defensively survive. Or on your turn when you're attacking aggressively with it, you get to combo this, play it, draw one, rest something, and then swing with it, then the draw level one and rest something. So nice, more pressure and draw from attacking, but very good for defense. And that is it for the secret rare super combos. So we move some of the other cards of choice. So Basil, Fatal Rampage, able to for 1 energy, give you some pressure. The permanent is basically unique, I mean you can control one at a time on board. Cantrip as well, because when you play it you draw a card, and then the activate main is very beneficial in if your opponent has 5 or more cards in rest mode. This card becomes a 90k dual attacker until the start of your next main phase. Nice energy, nice offense for just 1 energy. Put 2 attacks at 19k, which is decent pressure, at least pressure awakened and unawakened leaders for just 1 energy. And most of the time your opponent's going to be tapped out, either where they're trying to push you or you can tap them out because you're yellow. So we play 2 copies of this. And then we play 4 copies of Mecha, because Mecha is just one of the best floodgates yellow has access to, be able to negate an attack. And when it gets played, make it so your opponent has to rest a card each time they want to attack, as long as it's not with any leader card or battle card. And reduced by 1 for every yellow extra card you have in your energy or drop. So that's very easy to go this. And plus the AOD extra card goes really well in reducing the cost of this card, and it's searchable by lead as well. And then we have the Swift Retaliation Caller, a nice way to counter if you're going for a game in swing and your opponent tries to stop you. You can use Caller as long as you've got 3 energy open to negate the counter, play itself as a 15k attacker and even in combo power, and also draw your card, but then draw your second card if you have 6 or more cards in rest mode. Nice little way, and counter cards are good in this game, and this is one of the cheapest, not the cheapest, but one of the cheapest and kind of more beneficial ones, because it's cheap combo power as well if need be, and quite cheap for free energy to push through a counter, and we play 2 copies for that reason. Then we're playing 1 copy of Pan Inherited Bloodline and 1 copy of Sun Gohan Flash of Brilliance, just for that extra kind of like package to use Pan as some barrier removal as well, because it's a very nice card, and Gohan for extra pressure as well, for quite cheap. And Pan Inherited Bloodline is Deflect unique dual attack, and also has a permanent of when this card's removed from the board, it's removed from the game. And it's got a nice auto when this card's used. If your opponent has 2 or more energy, and you place this card from your Z energy in your drop to pay the Z energy cost of a mono yellow Z battle card with energy cost of 2 or more, you can play this card from your drop, then choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and non-barrier and KO it. So a good little barrier removal in that aspect. And as well, you get the auto, which you can use to help charge more Z energy and also push some pressure with 2 15k swings. With the auto, and when this card attacks, choose it to one of your mono yellow cards with 5k combo power from your drop in a combo with skills negate for the battle. So normally at this point you will have some in there ready to use, and that can help charge up Z energy and plus more pressure, because remember this is dual attack, so that's 2 15k swings at least, charging you back to Z energy. And in Gohan, Flash Brilliance is a nice card to go on top the Gohan Z battle card we have in the Z deck, which we'll see in a sec. And it's got Deflect and dual attack. Yeah, and EX evolved for 1 because of the effect of the effect of the Gohan we'll see in a bit. And just like Pan, it's got enough permanent where if it's removed from the board, it's removed from the game. And the other permanent is you can activate this card's EX evolve from your drop. So you can evolve it from your drop, so you can discard off one of these other effects and then still play it from that even though you've lost it. And it's got 2 very good autos First one of which is if you have 4 more energy and a yellow pan in play, this card gains double strike and barrier. So as well, and have dual attack, you can give it barrier and double strike as well. And it's several autos when if you have a yellow unison in play, you, when this card attacks, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode when its skills negate for the turn and KO it. So you can kind of get removal. That's only if we side a unison, because we're not mainly unison in this, because we're trying to be more aggressive and not more controlling like most yellow decks. And then that brings us to the last of the yellow battle cards, being Tyrell's All Too Easy. A nice good yellow card, because it can be dropped in this because it requires you to have for activate main to pay it for 2 yellow. Your leader to be a mono yellow Saiyan card and have 3 or more energy to play this card from your hand, which luckily our leader is a mono yellow Saiyan. And when it is played, you get the nice little benefit of removal and draw, enabled to basically dropping a 20k double striker. That allows you to choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode to KO it, and either then draw a card or KO another card that your opponent has in rest mode. Nice little bit of pressure there. You play 2 copies of that, it's quite useful as the yellow count as well. And then the last battle card being our Overwhelm, being Bardock Awakened Instinct. It's just a nice little Overwhelm. For only Overwhelm 4, quite cheap, just 4 cards in drop, allowing you to Overwhelm and then bring it off 20k beat stick to allow you to draw 2 cards and then discard a card from hand, allow you to either set up drop an extra card or deck card in hand, or put in the Gohan in drop ready to use, or a card with pan to use for combo power. So that is the overall, and then now we've come to 4 extra cards we're running in the deck. So the first one is the one that gives the AOD cards to help with that kind of had the idea with the Gohan, and that is the Agents of Destruction Strike Back. So this is it has a permanent where this card gains Agent Destruction in all areas. So it is an Agent Destruction card. So it's got the Agent Destruction tag, and it's got Agent Destruction in its card name, so searchable from Tyrells and everything's. And it's got a nice little benefit in its activate main, which by playing it, and remember you can play this for free because where it's got the Agent Destruction tag, Babidi reduces the cost and specified cost of it by 1, allowing you to play this for free with Babidi on board. And the activate main is look up to 2 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 2 cards with Agent Destruction in their card name among them to your hand, and then place any remaining cards at the bottom of your deck, and then shuffle your deck. And you can't play copies of this card from the turn, and if you added a card to your hand, you get to add up to 1 card from your deck to your hand, or from your life to your hand. So what that essentially means is that you get a look at top 2, add any Agent Destruction among them to your hand, because you add up to 2, and if you do, and any of the rest of them that aren't Agent Destruction or that you don't want, go back to the bottom of your deck. And if you do add any of them from your hand from the top of your deck, you then get to take a life as well. So essentially with this, with the leader grabbing this by taking a life and playing this and grabbing a card from top, if your opponent leaves you at 6, you can take yourself down to 4 to awaken and be ready to have a nice little push. And as well as that, you can only play 1 a turn, but still is searchable, and it adds to the mecha freeze as well, reducing the cost after you use it as well. So adding to the consistency, reducing from mecha for defensively, and then just allowing you to awaken a little bit quicker. So we play 3 copies of this because it's always searchable with the lead. Then you have extra cards you can search off the lead if you don't need to grab Agent Destruction Strikes Back, or if you just want extra ever good ones. We've got Power of a Super Saiyan, being a very special card. That'll either be used as a negate, or for the activate main to while you've got 1 energy open, that's mono yellow, draw a card and rest one of your opponent's battle cards or unisons. Really good card. Such a good card, it's been limited because it's that good. And then 3 copies of Instant Transmission. Now people might not realize what this card is, but it's almost like a token negate. It's like a free negate, because it's just counter attack, negate the attack, and it's a 1 cost. But it has a permanent where if your leader card is Goku's lineage, which luckily Goten is, you can activate this card's counter skill. Well, when you activate this card's counter skill, you may choose 1 card from your hand, from your life, add to your hand, and if you do, you can use this card's counter skill without paying its energy costs. So you can essentially take a life to use this counter attack on this card without paying the cost. So it's never a free negate if need be, and a good way to help you get down and negate any like double, triple striker attacks when go to your lead for just using 1. And to go with that, we've also got 3 Frieza's Army reinforcements as well. And never a negate that you can take a life with to instead of paying the cost. But this one is a 2 cost and needs your leader to be a mono yellow card, and if it does, it gets to negate the attack and play a token blocker to help defend potentially 2 attacks. So we're using the extra cards for defense and for utility. So in this deck, you've got the OAD package to kind of put some pressure on and have that little package to thin your deck through. The generic yellow cards to help defend yourself and be useful, so like Mecha Freeze defense, and every cards to be utility and other ways to finish off. Then the extra cards to be defense and also help you self-awaken as well, and take a life. So that is the main deck. So that is it. Moving on to the Z deck. So with the Z deck, we've got the first one being SSB Vegeta's Surmounting Impossible. Another way to self-awaken with your Z energy, because you can just need 1 card comboed and 1 energy to bring this out. Then you can allow you to put a card from your hand back in your drops, any card that you might want back in your deck instead. So if you want to put Babidi back in your deck, use Hatch. You can do this. Allows you to draw a card and take a life to help you more ways to self-awaken. Then we got 1 Oolong Greed is good, just for a 1 energy play that requires 2 Z energy to help bring out something, copy the power of anything on board. Normally the strongest thing that's on board, and put some for pressure for 1 energy to finish off. Then we have two copies of SSB Kaioken, SSB Goku Evolved Defender. That's a way that kind of gives a bit of more control if you want to get a control route, be able to come down, lock your opponent's leader or battle card from swinging, and have it as a way to stun any battle card that comes to the player unison. Nice little utility in that. And then be a 25k barrier deflect guy to help with put more pressure in as well and be a bit more utility. And then if you want ever barrier removal, we have the new new card that comes out in the pre-release of the next set, being SS3 Vegeta, Terrifying Agent Destruction. This being a dual attacker for 3 energy and 2 Z energy for 20k, allowing you to, when you play, choose one of your opponent's barrier cards, ignore and barrier and KO them. And additionally, you can use, if you use a skill to KO cards in rest mode, you gain critical as well. So it's a nice little card, and probably better used, it's better used and cheaper in with the Babidi pre-release lead, but it now gives access to every yellow deck to have barrier removal accessible anytime. So we have 2 copies of that if need be, because we do lack a little bit of barrier removal. We're not playing Final Flash in the main of the deck, so it's a nice way to have accessibility to it. Then we've got the Gohan that goes well with the Pan and Gohan cards in the main deck. Allow you to bring out a dual attacker 15k that has the permanent to reduce the X Evolve skill on the yellow SH Gohan to the Gohan 8 drop in our deck by 2 from hand or drop. Meaning that you don't have to pay 3 for it to evolve on top of it, you need to pay 1. So normally this is a turn 4 play, or unless you're awakening on turn 3. To bring this guy out for 1 energy and 2 energy and 1 Z energy, get 1 attack with it, restand from the dual attack, then, send Pan as well and bring out Pan, awaken, untap energy, bring back out the evolve from the Gohan in the drop onto it, and bring out a 30k that has double strike and dual attack to get a bit more pressure in. If you don't want to use if you want to avoid using the AOD stuff for that time being. So yeah, it's got a bit of utility and it's like more fun to play. So remember, feel free to give a like if you do try this kind of deck profile, this kind of list. If you like it, try it out. The link to the Deck Planet link is down below in the description as well, if you want to kind of check it out and try it on Untap maybe, or build it in person if you want to just hit the deck list. And feel free to comment if you have any suggestions for it or any ideas to upgrade. I would love to hear some suggestions for anybody who might be interested in this or help me improve it, for things to add or things to put in the side deck for the meta, because the side deck is more based on the meta you're going for, either the current meta or locals meta. So, and also don't forget to subscribe so I'll keep updated with kind of deck ideas like this of mine. Now that is it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to do all the things I just said, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one next time. Bye for now.